So you've asked for some help to deal with a particular traumatic event that occurs in South Africa. For the purpose of this demonstration, is it okay if you just tell me very briefly about the event and what happened and what impact it's had on you?
Well, the event was an armed hijacking. I was delivering a child home, and some men jumped out of the bushes, and one of them put a gun to my head. And he said to me, "You know what this is?" And I said, "Yes, get my family out the car, please." And they threw the children out the back, and then I managed to get out the door, but they drove away with my mother in the car.
So your mum was trapped in the car
She
with
was
the gunman?
Trapped in the car with the gunman, literally trapped, because her seatbelt was jammed.
Okay.
And she didn't have time to do anything about that. So I thought I would never see her again, because she'd lost her best friend 2 or 3 weeks earlier. It was shot at point blank range for her car.
Okay. So this is a terrifying event where you thought you might lose your life, your children might be killed.
Yes.
Your mother, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. And what impact has this had on you subsequently? Because this is some years ago.
Well, there's a fight or flight when I sense any kind of danger. This is a very different country, but there is danger from time to time, and I travel quite a lot. So there's I think beyond what the situation is calling for, response from me.
Yes.
Because of that trigger, and I do have recurring nightmares, and I see the impact of the trauma in my son in particular, who was 7 years old at the time, and how that is manifested in his life. So that causes me a lot of anxiety.
Okay, thank you for sharing those details. So in this process, we're going to help you to dissolve away the traumatic aspects of that memory. The objective facts of the event will still remain, but the fear responses and the stress responses and the body responses will hopefully be dissolved away. Okay, and we've talked already about the procedure we're going to use with the havening touch, and we've made sure that you're comfortable with that. So let's get started.
Good.
So what I'd like you to do briefly is to close your eyes, and I'd like you very briefly to take yourself back to that event and think of the context, the setting, the expression on that man's face with the gun, your fear, your own internal reactions, the fear for your son. Just very briefly, let me know when you're in that memory, and then I'd like you to give me a score out of 10 for how distressing that was at the time.
It was 10 out of 10.
A 10 out of 10. All right. I'm going to relieve you of that. Now I'm going to start the havening touch. So, because I don't want you thinking about that event anymore, we're going to use some neutral distractions. So first of all, I'm going to take you into a shop. It can be a superstore or a supermarket. And I'm going to ask you to choose and buy items beginning from A to Z. And as you find each item, I want you to name it out loud as you put it in the trolley. Start now with A.
Apples. Bananas. Cherries. Spaghetti. Turnips.
You. What about on a rainy day?
On a rainy day? What about?
Could buy an umbrella.
Umbrella.
Because I can never think of a food that begins with U.
I'll buy an umbrella and some very nice things. And,
yes.
Watermelon.
Okay, well, you told me that you're keen on gardening.
Yes.
So I'd like you to take me on a little tiki tour of your garden and describe all the things you've got growing.
Alphabetically?
And well, no, not alphabetically, just
in the garden.
Yeah, in the garden, yeah.
So as you come down the stairs, there's a flower garden with osteospermums hanging over the wall. There's some leucospermums growing behind them. I've planted a drift of Aquilegia columbines, which are my favorite flower. And yeah,
Right, and
lots
then
of stuff for
so you
summer.
have a vegetable garden already planted out?
Yes, and that's, you
So
know,
what's in that at the moment?
well, I've put some sweet peas in my vegetable garden
Mhm.
just for convenience because they haven't needed a climbing place. I've got rosemary. Then I've got another bed across the driveway where I've got big fat turnips growing,
Mm-hmm.
beautiful purple turnips. And I've planted there so I've got the harvesting cabbages and spinach that were from
Yes.
winter.
Mm-hmm.
And my fig trees are in leaf.
All right, I think we'll leave the garden just for now. I invite you to count backwards out loud from 20 down to 0. Out loud.
20, 19, 18, 17, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1,
And
0.
Okay, good. Take 2 big breaths. Alright, good. I invite you just to go back to that event in South Africa, the memory you talked about. Just for a moment, immerse yourself in that setting, that context, the memory, the sights, the sounds, the smells. See how that memory feels now and give me a score for distress 0 to 10.
5.
5. Alright, good. Right.
It's misty.
Misty. Memory is less clear now, it's misty.
It's sort of in a haze.
Alright, good.
Like literally in a white,
In a haze.
smoky thing.
Okay. Alright, we're going to carry on with some more havening. So you tell me, with all the beautiful produce from your garden, you're a keen cook as well. So would you like to choose a dish that you're going to prepare for me, and you're going to tell me about all of the ingredients and where you find them and how you prepare them, and how you cook this dish.
Okay, well, one of my favorites is spanakopita, the Greek spinach pie.
Yeah, a spinach pie.
Spinach pie. And so I go and pick a massive basket of spinach because you know how it shrinks.
Yes, it kind of, when you cook it, it shrinks down.
I pick lots of spinach and I prepare that first. And then I layer the sheets of phyllo pastry for the base and up the sides. And at least 6 or 7 layers of that. And then I put the mix into that. And then I layer 6 or 7 sheets of phyllo again with the oil brushing on the top, and then sort of fold the sides over, and a green salad with some tomato, so very light on the side. Sometimes I've served it with a coleslaw if I've got a lot of cabbages and carrots, but a salad,
Yes,
a light salad on the
salad.
side. Yeah,
Nice, beautiful.
delicious.
All right. Can I come to your place for dinner?
Yes, you're very welcome.
All right, we're going to take you into a beautiful New Zealand forest. There's a flight of 20 steps ahead of you. They're just easy steps, climbing up through a beautiful forest next to a waterfall. I want you to count the steps out loud as you imagine climbing up the steps. Start now.
1,
20 steps.
2, 3,
As you climb the steps, you'll feel lighter.
4, 10, 19, 20.
And at the top, there's the most beautiful view unfolds over the top. There's a bench you can sit at the top of the waterfall and enjoy the view. Just take a couple of big breaths of that fresh air. Good. Now from that place of relaxation, I want you just to once more take yourself back to that memory of that terrifying event. As much as you can, immerse yourself in it. See how it feels now, and give me a score out of 10 for how distressing it is now.
Maybe a 2.
A 2. Alright, so it's more distant or more faded, or
I can't find it.
Can't find
I
it.
can
Okay.
I can kind of see it, but I can't feel it.
Can't feel it. All right. You can open your eyes now if you like. Okay. So, is there anything changed about that memory? If you just look back to that time.
Well, it looks like a comedy. It looks like a comedy.
Looks like a comedy.
They were just dancing around. It looks like a comedy.
Okay, are you safe?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is your son alright?
Yeah.
And what's happened to your mum?
She got out the car.
Got out the car. Okay, good. Okay. So in the last 15 minutes we've removed the nerve connections that hold all of that trauma. And it's just dissolved away. So we believe that's going to be a permanent change. That trauma is gone. So you'll remember the events
Yes.
objectively, but
Yes. But it's
the image and the feeling and the stress and the fear is gone.
I just couldn't access it. I just couldn't.
Yeah.
But sometimes if the feeling has a dark colour to it and a sort of metallic feel, I suppose it may have been the gun, but
Is that gone now?
I can't find
Yeah.
that.
I like it.
Thank you.
Yeah.